everybody. Welcome back to the Lexus Virtual Classroom here at Northside and Westside Lexus in Houston, Texas. My name is Melissa O'Connell and I'm your Lexus Technology Specialist. And today we are diving into part 2 of the Lexus TX Deep Dive Tutorial Series. If you have not checked out part 1 yet, make sure to do so. That's where I show you how to pair your vehicle to your Lexus app so that your Lexus driver profile is saved to your TX. Make sure to look in the description below the video for a link to part 1. Today we're exploring the entire Lexus interface multimedia system on the vehicle. We'll also take a look at Advanced Park and the 360 panoramic view camera monitoring system. Don't forget to use the time-stamped index in the description below this video and most of our other long format videos. That lets you just jump through to different subjects if you prefer. And if you're watching on mobile, look for the word More somewhere below the video title. That will open the video description and you can scroll through the images of the chapters. Click View All if you'd like to see the chapters in list view. You can also see the full time-stamped index in the mobile format by clicking on More from above. To get the most out of this tutorial, make sure you have your Lexus driver profile already added to the vehicle. I've linked that section of the video for you. There should be a link above and also in the description below this video, just in case you need to go back to that step before moving on to our main screen. Let's talk about some system basics. There are multiple systems operating off of the main screen. Your phone's system, Apple CarPlay for an iPhone, and Android Auto for an Android phone. If you have your phone connected for Apple CarPlay, you'll see this icon at the top of the Lexus interface menu bar. With an iPhone paired to the vehicle, the Lexus interface menu bar on the left-hand side, and Apple CarPlay on the remainder of the screen. Lexus and Apple have added the ability to take Apple CarPlay full screen, where it hides the Lexus interface menu bar, or you can allow the Lexus menu to be visible at all times just by using this button to expand or retract your Apple CarPlay screen view. If you have an Android phone connected for Android Auto, you'll see the Android Auto icon. In order to exit Android Auto, we need to come to our Apps menu, select Lexus, and you'll see the Lexus menu bar on the left-hand side with your Android Auto shortcut right at the top. These icons will reopen your phone's connected system if you leave that screen to go to a Lexus feature. We will go into detail about Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but first I want to make sure you know some basics about the icons that you view on screen. So if you don't see the shortcut to your phone's operating system, it means that your profile is not connected or your permissions have not been turned on for that connection. If you don't see those icons, the top icon on the display will be the arrow for the Lexus Drive Connect navigation system. You do have a complimentary 3-year trial period. Drive Connect is the cloud-based Lexus navigation system that uses Google Points of Interest, and it updates automatically twice a month in the cloud. It does require a subscription after the trial period has ended. The Lexus Music Notes will open your Lexus audio system. The telephone icon will take you to different screens depending on how your phone is connected to the vehicle. So if your phone is connected for Apple CarPlay, you're going to see your phone displayed through the Apple CarPlay setup. If you have your phone connected for Android Auto, it just takes 2 steps. Select the telephone icon from the Lexus menu, and then select the Android phone icon from the shortcut on the left-hand side. Or make it super easy and just use voice command. If your phone is connected for Bluetooth only, you'll see this screen. Also note that when I selected to have my phone connected for Bluetooth only, the icon for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on your phone type, is going to disappear from the screen, and the Lexus menu icons will spread out a little bit. If I come to Settings, Bluetooth and Devices, select my phone, and reconnect for Apple CarPlay, you're going to see that Apple CarPlay icon reappear at the top of the Lexus menu bar. You can select the vehicle icon to come to the Vehicle Features menu. Keep in mind that this list is going to be different depending on the equipment or package on your TX. Click on the Settings gear to open your Lexus Settings menu. We'll go through each of these items in detail. Now let's take a look at these icons on the top right-hand corner of the screen. If your vehicle has a wireless charger, you'll see the Qi wireless charger icon. When it appears in gray, it's not charging, but when you place a compatible wireless phone onto the charging pad, you'll see that icon light up in blue. You may also see messages about charging starting and stopping. You'll also see a DCM icon. It looks a little bit like a satellite symbol. Even though it looks like a satellite, that actually represents the cellular connection for the connected services on your vehicle. When the icon is highlighted in blue, that lets you know that your Lexus Drive Connect navigation system is active and connected. The Bluetooth symbol will appear gray unless you have your phone connected for Bluetooth only. The Bluetooth icon is clickable and it shortcuts you to the Bluetooth and Devices settings menu. When you change to a Bluetooth only phone connection, the Bluetooth icon is going to change from gray to blue, and it will let you know which phone is connected, and you'll have two additional icons appear on screen. You'll see the battery level for your cell phone and the bars of service for the area where you are at that time. If you change your connection back to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, the Bluetooth icon will go back to gray, and the bars of service will appear in your phone's connected system screen. The clock is also clickable. If you click the clock, it will shortcut you to the clock settings menu. There are 3 ways to access voice commands. Since Lexus Interface is a voice-first system, all you have to do is say, "Hey Lexus." You can even say, "Hi Lexus," "Hello Lexus," or "Okay Lexus." You can also use the talk button on the steering wheel and even a soft button right on screen. To use the talk button on the left-hand side of the steering wheel for Lexus Interface, you'll push and release the talk button. When you push and release the talk button, it's the same as saying, "Hey Lexus." To cancel, either say cancel by voice, click the X on the top left corner, or push and hold the talk button on the steering wheel. To interact by voice with your telephone's assistant, either use your phone's wake word, like "Hey Siri," or push and hold the talk button on the steering wheel. There are also soft buttons on screen that operate voice commands. The Lexus system uses the search icon to activate your Lexus Assistant. Just touch the magnifying glass icon. When you're driving, the magnifying glass will change to an image of a microphone. With your phone's assistant, push and hold the menu icon on the bottom left-hand corner to activate Siri for Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto uses the microphone icon on the lower left-hand side in the Android Auto menu. We're going to move down our Lexus Interface menu from top to bottom. If your phone is connected for Apple CarPlay, you're going to see that icon at the very top. Starting with the basic layout for Apple CarPlay, we now have that full screen button. Just touch to expand to full screen, or to retract back and allow the Lexus menu bar to remain open on the left-hand side. Let's go ahead and operate in full screen just so that you can really clearly and easily see all of the items that we're going to talk about. Moving down from the top, Just below, we have our clock. Keep in mind that this is the clock that's mirroring from your phone. So if it doesn't look right, make sure to check the clock settings on your iPhone. You'll see bars of service and the network connection that you currently have. Then you have 3 recently used app categories that are pictured here. The top app is going to be navigation. So the most recently used navigation app, right now it's Apple Maps. But if you opened Google or Waze, you would see that. So you'll see the app switch to whichever navigation app was most recently used. The next most recently used app is going to be about music or entertainment. Right now we see the Spotify app icon, but it could be podcasts or music. It just depends on what you've most recently used. The last recently used app in the stack is communication. This will show apps like phone, messaging, even WhatsApp, and you'll just click to reopen any of the recently used apps. So it's a great little shortcut. If you have your phone on Do Not Disturb, you're going to see the little moon icon. If you've changed notifications or silenced notifications, you might see a bell. So just know that if you see a symbol here, that just means that you've changed the settings for notifications or in the focus feature on your iPhone. You'll see a battery charge level, and when you receive notifications, you'll hear them and you'll see a pop-up on screen. The bottom icons are for a shortcut to your Apple CarPlay home screen and the apps menu screens. Depending on the software version on your iPhone, the icons may look a little different, but they function in the exact same way. So on newer iOS, your home screen icon may look like this, and your apps menu icon may look like this. From the apps menu, swipe from right to left to see additional apps, or swipe left to right, and you can come back to your home screen. It's not customizable, but it does change based on what you have open. The large tile on the left is going to be a navigation tile, no matter which app you have as your most recently used navigation app. Each navigation app has its own layout for the items that you'll see in the top narrow tile on the right-hand side. So again, those things at this point are not customizable, but they will change whether you have a route programmed in or if you're using a different navigation app. So just know that those items are going to vary based on the app that you're using. Coming down on the right-hand side, you'll either see a large lower tile, or you'll see 2 small tiles if you have an event set on your calendar, now playing. This is going to correspond to whatever audio you have playing at that time, and you'll have some controls to play or pause, fast forward, rewind. It just depends on the content that you're currently listening to or have paused on your phone. If you have an event coming soon, it's going to also show here. Let's put an event on the calendar, and I'll show you what that looks like. Hey Siri, put an event on my calendar to pick up cat food at 12:30 this afternoon. We won't go over all of the apps because the apps will vary depending on the apps that you have on your iPhone that are compatible for Apple CarPlay. You can customize how they appear on your vehicle screen, and you can even delete apps so that they don't show up on the car if you prefer. There are 3 ways to wake up your phone's assistant. You can use your phone's wake words to activate Siri, or you can use the button on the steering wheel, or you can push and hold on the menu buttons on screen, push and release to cancel. So we have 2 assistants on our Lexus vehicles with Lexus interface, because we can say, hey Lexus, and use Lexus navigation, or give commands for climate or the Lexus radio. But anything that we need to use our phone for when the phone is connected for Apple CarPlay, we want to always make sure that we're using the phone's assistant. So if we want to make a phone call, for example, hey Siri, call Sarah.
Calling Sarah, mobile.
You can generate a call at any time, and it doesn't matter what you have on screen. Just wake up Siri to do it. Call Sarah.
Calling Sarah, mobile.
When a phone call takes over the screen, you can just select another item that you'd like to show. You can always come back to the call by clicking on the clock. You'll notice that it's changed colors, and when you're actively in a call, it will be highlighted in green. So no matter how you wake your assistant, whether it's with a wake phrase, the soft button on the screen, or the voice command button on the steering wheel, you'll be able to make phone calls, send text messages, send a text to Sarah.
What do you want to say to Sarah?
Hey Sarah, I hope you're having a great day.
It says, Hey Sarah, I hope you're having a great day. Send it?
Yes.
Done.
Let's take a look now at how to respond to a message.
NSL Technology CNTR said have a great day. Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say to NSL Technology CNTR?
You too.
Sending, you too.
Add to it.
What do you want to say to NSL Technology CNTR?
Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Sending, you too. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
So you can change it, add to it, or even cancel, all with voice commands. Using navigation with Apple CarPlay is also very simple. You can use any compatible navigation app. The default when you're using Siri is going to be Apple Maps because Siri and Apple Maps work together hand in hand. But you can ask Siri to use a different navigation app if that's your preference. Let's take a look at both options. Hey Siri, get directions to Target in the Woodlands.
Getting directions to Target.
I can click Go,
Starting route to Target.
or it will automatically launch for me. Looking at the tile on the bottom left, we have our approximate arrival time, how much time it will take us to get to our destination, and how far away the destination is from where we are currently located. If you click the arrow to expand this box, you'll see the arrival time at the top, the option to add a stop, and you have some different points of interest that are very commonly used, or you can select to type in a search, or you can access Siri to add another stop along the way.
Where do you want to go?
Starbucks.
One option I found is Starbucks on Rayford Road in Houston.
So I can select that item. Siri would actually even tell me how much more time it's going to add if I choose to do this. So I'll click Add Stop.
Your next stop is Starbucks.
So now I have 2 stops programmed in. So now when you expand this tile, you'll have an opportunity to edit the stops. So you could add another stop or you could remove a stop. At the moment, you're not able to edit the order of the stops. So make sure to put your destinations in the reverse order that you would like to get to them. However, you can edit the order of your stops if you're doing your search in your phone and you make sure to change the order of each destination before you launch your route. Once you've launched your route, you're no longer able to edit the order of the stops, but you can remove stops and then you could add something back in if you needed to. And you can end your route on screen or just use voice command. Hey Siri, cancel navigation.
Ending navigation.
If you would like to use a different navigation app, just let Siri know which app you'd like to use when you give your direction. Here's how to do that. Hey Siri, give directions to Target using Google Maps.
One option is Target on Lake Woodlands Drive in Spring.
Because I designated that I wanted to use Google Maps, Siri was able to open that for me. Now, we don't have as many voice command capabilities with the voice command button if we're outside of Apple Maps, but it's going to still operate in a very similar way. If you have an app that's not operating correctly, maybe it gives you a failure message or it's a map that doesn't show correctly, get directions to Target using Waze.
Sorry, there's something wrong.
It means that you need to either do an update or download and reinstall, or sometimes you just need to open the app on your phone and log back in if it has an account. There may be some permissions that need to be granted after an update, but typically any kind of app functionality problem that you may be having in Apple CarPlay is resolved by going to the app on your phone. Make sure to take care of that when you're not driving. A common challenge is to remember that the music notes that you see when you're in Apple CarPlay are not the same as the music notes that you see in the Lexus menu. So if you click on the music notes here, you're going to launch the music library that you have on your iPhone. You can listen to the radio through Apple Radio, but it's not the same as listening to the radio from your vehicle. So keep in mind that there are also music notes in the Lexus menu. When you select the music notes in the Lexus menu, that's when you're able to listen to the vehicle's radio system. We'll come back to that shortly. Selecting the Apple CarPlay icon to reopen Apple CarPlay. If you've expanded your screen in Apple CarPlay and you're driving and you want to get back to your Lexus radio without taking your hands off the wheel, use this voice command. Hey Lexus, show my radio favorite screen.
Showing radio favorites.
So those exact words are what I have found that works. If you come up with another voice command that gets you back to this exact screen for the Lexus radio, please let me know. I would love to learn it. And if you'd like to go back to Apple CarPlay and you don't feel like clicking on anything, just launch Siri. Hey Siri. Open Apple Maps. And now we're back in Apple CarPlay. For phones connected with Android Auto, you'll see the Android Auto icon at the top of the Lexus menu bar. Just click to open. You'll see the Android Auto menu along the left-hand side. At the top of the Android Auto menu, you're going to see bars of service, the battery charge level for the phone, the clock, a notifications count that you can actually click to view those newer notifications. You can play them, reply, or choose to clear the notifications. If you don't have new notifications or they've been cleared, then you'll see that that notification icon is no longer on your menu stack. When you look at the menu bar on the left-hand side in Android Auto, the first shortcut app is going to be for navigation. And the icon for this app is going to change depending on which map app you're using. So right now we have Google Maps open, but if we change to another compatible navigation app, you're going to see the icon representing that change. The middle app is going to be for the most recent audio or media app that you've been listening to. And the third item is the shortcut for the phone. You can use the microphone icon on screen to launch your Google Assistant. You can also press and hold the voice command button on the steering wheel. And I'm just clicking on the screen to cancel. And of course, you can use voice command. Okay, Google, how's the weather today?
Today in spring, it'll be partly cloudy.
Just below the mic button on screen, you'll see the apps menu layout. So those 9 little dots are going to open the apps menu, showing the apps that you have on your phone that are being allowed to share to the car's screen. And you'll notice that now we don't have those 9 little dots. Now we have the shortcut back to that home view. That's that split screen view. And of course, it's very important to know how to get back to the Lexus menu. Open the apps menu screen, just click Lexus, and then you'll be out of Android Auto, and you'll have the ability to come to other Lexus features. So it is very common when you've already opened Android Auto and you're wondering, how do I get back to my radio? Or how do I listen to the radio in the background but have Android Auto on screen? If you have audio content that's been opened in Android Auto, if you turn the radio on, it's going to play the Android Auto content. So let's get back to the Lexus radio so that you could choose to have that as your audio source. You can do that by coming to your apps menu, clicking on Lexus, and then selecting the radio if it wasn't open already. And notice our audio source still says Android Auto. So I would need to do more clicking on screen to get back to the radio. I would need to come to sources and then radio. So to me, that's just way too many clicks that I need to do. So let's come back to Android Auto, and let me show you what I found to be the fastest way to get back to your Lexus radio. Hey Lexus, show my radio favorite screen.
Showing radio favorites.
So you do need to very specifically say, show my radio favorite screen, and we're in our Lexus radio. Let's come back and look at some other Android Auto features. If you would like to view Google Maps full screen, all you have to do is touch the Google Map icon from the menu. Full screen, touch again, and you'll go back to that split screen view. Keep in mind that not everything is compatible for a full screen view, and not all apps are even compatible to show on the right-hand side of your display. We can use the search feature, a shortcut to home if your home location has been saved in your phone, and our most recent destination search. Or just use voice commands. Okay, Google, get directions to Target in the Woodlands, Texas. When you open the phone menu, you're going to see favorites, recents, contacts. When you press the telephone button on the steering wheel, you'll also open this screen when you have Android Auto already open on the display. If you're in a Lexus menu item and you press the telephone button, on vehicles with Android Auto, it's going to bring you back to Android Auto, but it's not going to launch the telephone feature right away. If you press the phone button again, then you'll open your telephone app on screen. Or just use voice commands. Okay, Google, call Sarah.
Calling Sarah.
Of course, one of the most popular things to do by voice command is to do texting, because that means you can keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and then you can send a text if it's necessary to text while you're driving. Okay, Google, send a text to Sarah.
What's the message?
I hope you're having a great day.
I hope you're having a great day. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Sending your message to Sarah.
If we open our messaging app on screen, we can select the icon
Who do you want to text?
to send a message, but I recommend just using voice command. Okay, Google, launch Spotify.
Sorry, that app isn't supported on this device.
So if you have an error about an app, that means you need to check the app status on your phone. It might need an update. It may have offloaded to the cloud if you haven't used it in quite some time, or the app may have already updated and you just need to give some additional permissions for the app to operate correctly when mirroring to your vehicle. So let's come back and keep going through our Lexus interface system. Moving down to our Lexus Drive Connect cloud-based navigation system. That's the arrow icon on the Lexus interface menu bar. It does use Google Points of Interest. Another benefit for cloud-based navigation is that the cloud resource is updated automatically twice a month. So your maps are much more frequently updated than ever before. Top navigation voice commands to be aware of: "Hey Lexus, get directions to," and then you can give the address or a point of interest name, or ask Lexus to show recent destinations to see that list, find a nearby point of interest, cancel the route, or even just ask Lexus to show your map screen if that's what you'd prefer to see. We're going to start off by going through items on the screen, and we'll do some voice command examples throughout the tutorial. So it is, of course, touch screen. If you move the map around, whether you zoom out or zoom in, pinching and pulling your fingers together or apart, you'll select Recenter to get back to where your vehicle is actually located. You can zoom in with the plus and zoom out with the minus button. Now you can zoom in and out with voice command. "Hey Lexus,
How can I help you?
zoom in on the map."
Okay, zooming in.
"Hey Lexus, zoom out on the map."
Okay, zooming out.
So pretty simple. If you're driving along and you'd like to zoom and you don't want to take your hands off the wheel, definitely operate it by voice command. On the right-hand side of the screen, you have a compass that will also change the orientation of the map just by clicking. The 2D flat view with north at the top of the map. Click again for a 3D view. So this will show you the north and south arrows, and it's more of a three-dimensional view. You can use 2 fingers to adjust the tilt angle. Clicking to recenter. Click on the compass again for 2D facing the direction that the vehicle is driving. You'll know that you're in the 2D view because you'll see the north and south arrows on the compass, and you'll have a circle of little dash marks around that compass. If you're in the 2D mode, you can still tilt if you prefer. You can shortcut to some navigation and map settings. You can turn off or leave on the traffic flow information, and traffic flow information will show on screen green, yellow, and red for moving, slow, or bumper-to-bumper traffic. You can click to call the destination assist operator, or you can always do that by voice command. Just ask your Lexus assistant to call destination assist. Because when you have the Lexus Drive Connect subscription, it not only includes the cloud-based mapping system, but it has the destination assist live operator support and the intelligent voice assistant that's connected to the cloud and always learning and has more advanced voice command capabilities in your vehicle. You can go to more detailed navigation settings and make additional adjustments here for map details and overlays and route options. We'll explore these items more when we come down to our settings menu. Notice that if I click Settings to go back, I'll come to the beginning of the settings menu. So instead, click the arrow to come back to your map. Selecting About, you do need to scroll to see the different systems that are operating to power your Lexus navigation system. And click OK. Coming to the left, and we have a really popular feature. Once you know it's there, this is only capable on the Lexus Drive Connect screen. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto Maps don't have this functionality, but see these arrows right here? That's a full screen mode. Click on that and you can hide those additional climate control buttons, and it just makes your map gigantic, so it's really cool. The icon will change to arrows pointing toward each other to let you know that you can shrink that view and open up your climate menu at any time. A couple of things to know about the magnifying glass icon. When the vehicle is in motion, it changes to a microphone icon because not only is that your on-screen search feature, but that's another way to launch your Lexus Assistant. You can simply click to launch your voice assistant and give your command, or click on the icon. You'll see a tiny keyboard icon, but you can tap anywhere along the bottom bar to open up the keyboard on screen. For navigation search, you can begin to type in a search. Select from the suggested items list. And to save a favorite before you've started to drive. Clicking save will add that to your favorites. To share, you must have your phone only connected for Bluetooth. It cannot be operating for wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And if you choose to call, it does have the capability of switching from the Lexus functionality to the phone feature in your Apple CarPlay operating system. From this screen, you can launch your destination. So if you've clicked to call and then ended the call like I did, you'll see that you need to re-enter your destination and then you can launch your directions or just start to drive. Click
Proceed to the highlighted route.
Go Now. Once you're on the route, you'll be given turn-by-turn instructions. In this section, you'll see how long the trip will take, the amount of miles, and your approximate arrival time. If you click the drop-down arrow, you can end the trip. You can also click to add a stop. Starbucks near me.
I found 15 results along your route. The first is Starbucks at 500 Rayford Road. Would you like to go to that one?
Yes.
Would you like to add it as a stop or start a new trip?
Add it as a stop.
Adding Starbucks as a stop.
So now we have 2 stops along our route.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
Now our first stop is 4 minutes away, about 1.6 miles. If I click that drop-down arrow again, before where it said add stop, now it says edit stops. If I select that, I can grab the handlebars and reorder my trip, and then the change will be reflected on the right-hand side main screen, and I'll click Save.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
If I want to share my ETA, I'm going to get this message that says no device connected. We do, of course, have a device connected, but sharing your ETA requires your phone to be only connected using Bluetooth, not connected using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Now, your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless connections use Bluetooth and a Wi-Fi ad hoc connection to make that mirroring possible without a cord. But when you do that, you override the Bluetooth-only system. And sharing ETA through the Lexus Maps is operated with a Bluetooth-only connection. Coming back to our drop-down menu, and we can see the routes that are available to us. And if you have different route options, obviously this trip is not very far away, but you can see more information about alternative routes. And because we've got Google Points of Interest with our Lexus Drive Connect system, we have details about that particular point of interest. So they tell me, are they open? Are they closed? What are their hours? And then I can even see a Google rating. So we can cancel our trip by clicking End Trip from the drop-down menu, End on the right-hand side of our map screen, or, what's my favorite way, by voice command. Hey Lexus, cancel my navigation.
Canceling trip.
Super simple. You can also search for addresses by typing on screen, and you'll see suggestions for locations across the top, or you can just search by voice command using your Lexus Assistant. Hey Lexus, get directions to 9600 Woodlands Parkway in the Woodlands, Texas.
I found 9600 Woodlands Parkway. Would you like to go now?
Yes.
Calculating route to 9600 Woodlands Parkway.
And we're on our way.
Proceed to the highlighted route.
And remember that in your Lexus app, there's a find feature, and in that are destinations. Taking a look at your Lexus app, locate the find icon on the bottom right-hand corner of your menu. Then select destinations. This is where you can view, edit, or add your home address and work address. You can also add or edit favorites right on screen. Select Done, select the arrow to go back. You can choose to send items to the car or edit and delete. Select Done when you're ready. Select the arrow to go back. And then you can scroll down to Recent Searches. Select an item. You can remove or save and choose to send to car. Select the arrow to go back and click the X to close. You can also search for a destination and save it to your favorites, or send it to your vehicle. If you've sent a destination to your vehicle and then you hop in the car and turn the car on, you'll see that destination pop up on screen, ready for your next drive. You can also access the destination feature right on your vehicle screen. You can even manage favorites in the destination feature on your Lexus app. But if you've programmed home or work, you'll be able to see them here. And that's another reason why signing out to guest mode is important if you're going to valet park your Lexus, because this personalized information won't be available when the vehicle is in guest mode. But we have home, work, and favorites available right on screen. Now you can save a favorite through the system in the vehicle, but at the moment you can't program home or work through the main screen, only on the Lexus app. You can come to Recents to make a selection from your recent search history. Coming to Send to Car, these are items that I've searched for in the Destinations feature in my Lexus app. And then I marked them as Send to Car, and I'm able to send them to the car so that I can use them later. This is a great feature if you're going on a trip and you want to sit at home and plan things out, plug in addresses in your phone, and then send them to your car. You can also click to edit. So if you don't need these in this list any longer, you can just click the minus button to remove. Click Save to save your updated list. Selecting Go Back. And we have some frequently searched points of interest available: food, nearby fuel, parking, and hospitals. If you have a low fuel warning, you'll have a drop-down notification on screen with the option to select from a list of nearby gas stations. Just click to select the gas station that you would like to go to, and your Lexus Drive Connect navigation system will route you there. Clicking the X to close. Now let's take a look at our Lexus audio system. Just click on the music notes in the Lexus interface menu. My top audio voice command tips are to ask Lexus to show my radio favorite screen, or to tell Lexus what I'd like to listen to. For example, hey Lexus, I want to listen to First Wave on SiriusXM, or hey Lexus, tune to channel 33, or tune to 99.1 FM, things like that. Let's take a look at the menu items on the left-hand side. Our first item is our favorites. One of the things that I really love about the new Lexus Interface Radio is that your favorites stay with your profile. So when you connect to another Lexus Interface vehicle, whether it's a future car or a loaner vehicle, your radio favorites will be there for you, and you don't have to keep searching for radio stations or enter your favorites every time you get a new car. Let's talk about how to tune the radio so that you can find a station and favorite that station. Right here we have the word tune. We can then choose our source. Do we want to tune to an FM or AM station? or a SiriusXM channel. If numbers are not available, they'll be grayed out. And as you start typing, other available numbers will become clickable. If you make a mistake, you have a go back arrow. Just click that and then enter the correct number and choose Tune to Station. If you'd like to favorite this station, just click the heart. If you've made a mistake, you can select Undo or just deselect the heart, and that will be removed from your favorites list. Once you have favorites in your favorites list, notice that when we're in full screen view, our favorites push to the left. Let's take a look at that. When we have favorites selected at the top and our favorites appear on the right-hand side in a tile view, you can just click on an item to play that item and it will open up full screen. Or if you see station or channel information across the bottom, you can click on that to open to full screen. Whenever you have full screen view on the right-hand side, the tile layout of your stations pushes to the left and it shows as a list view. From list view, you can edit your favorites. Just click edit and you can remove a favorite or you can rearrange favorites. Scroll to a station or channel that you would like to move. Look for the handlebar on the left-hand side. So that's the 3 little bars. Touch and hold, you'll hear a beep and it lifts up that particular item. Just slide it around until you have it where you want it. So you can drag and drop, rearrange, and delete. Whenever you're done, click Done Editing. Select Radio with the left-facing Go Back button to come back to our main radio screen and come down to FM radio. If you don't have your station numbers memorized, you can always search within FM radio. You can now search all stations recently played or all of the stations that are available in your area. This is great if you're traveling and you're not familiar with the stations in that area. Just come here and search all stations or search by music type. So search by genre and you'll see stations that are available playing that particular content. Coming back to radio, and you'll see the same type of setup for AM radio, recently played at the top and all available stations below. If you are on a drive and you feel like you've driven out of range, you may want to click Refresh so that the system can find local signals and refresh and create your new station list. You'll see the circle change from blue to gray as it progresses through the station list update. And when it's complete, it will tell you station refresh complete, and you'll know you have correct stations that are available where you're driving. You also have a genre search on the left-hand side. A cool tip from part 1 of our deep dive tutorial: locate the mode button on the steering wheel or in the head-up display. Then push and hold the mode button. If you are listening to AM or FM and you push and hold the mode button, it will mute the audio and push and hold again to unmute. Pushing to go back and select SiriusXM. So SiriusXM has been sorting by genre for a really long time. So you also add this capability of recommended channels. So they kind of based on what you already listen to with SiriusXM, they'll make suggestions for you. Then you can select broader categories like music and then drill down from there. What genre within music would you like to listen to? And all of the channels that apply to that genre will show up in a tile layout on the right-hand side. For music, sports, news, talk radio, or select all channels if you'd like to see all of the available programming for your particular satellite radio subscription. You can also select listening history. If you were listening to a channel that you really enjoyed and you kind of forgot to save it, you could just check back to your listening history and search to see what that channel might have been, and then you can go back to it. Notice that satellite radio can be paused or played by clicking on the icon on screen or with the mode button on your steering wheel. So to pause, you'll push and hold. You can just press and hold the mode button again to play. You'll even see on screen when you make the change. When the audio content is playing, you'll see the pause icon, and when you've paused the audio, you'll see the play icon. You can also select Related or Notify Me. If you choose Related, you're going to see other channel suggestions pop up on the right-hand side. So these are other things you might like based on this particular channel. So then you could select those, listen, save them as a favorite, whatever you prefer. When you select Notify Me, you can choose to be notified if this song is playing on another channel or if that artist is playing on another channel. So it'll give you a notification on screen asking, would you like to go to this other channel to listen? You can click OK to save. You can undo if you feel like you've made a mistake. Or if you select Notify Me again and come to Manage, that shortcuts you to the SiriusXM settings in your main settings menu that are located in Sound and Media. This is where, if you have allowed for artist and songs notifications, once you've started adding items to that list, you'll see the alerts that have been set. Just click Edit if you would like to delete all or just delete a particular item. And if you feel like, oh no, actually I do want to be notified about that, just click Cancel and Done Editing. Then to come back to your Lexus interface menu, just click the music notes. And to get back to that full screen view, click the bar at the bottom of the screen. I'd like to show you how to quickly locate the radio ID, selecting radio to go back, and then select Tune. Choose SiriusXM, and then type 0. When you type 0, that's going to locate the radio ID for you. Just keep in mind that it's not possible to access this screen when you're talking on the phone connected to the vehicle. If you need to locate your radio ID while you're talking on the phone, come to Settings, Sound and Media, SiriusXM, Help and Support. And there's your radio ID and listener care number right on screen. Another item on screen is your source feature. On our previous model vehicles, source included AM, FM satellite, Bluetooth audio, CD, things like that. The source menu is a little bit different for Lexus interface. It has radio as its own source. If you click radio, you'll come back to your main radio screen, and then you'll either operate from favorites, tune, or choose a radio source, FM, AM, or SiriusXM. Come back to source, and you'll see your phone's audio shortcut. For, in this example, Apple CarPlay, because it's an iPhone. When your phone is connected for Bluetooth only, you'll see that audio content from your phone will be connected via Bluetooth, as opposed to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It just depends on your device and how you've chosen to connect it to the vehicle. Then you have streaming music services available as their own source. Apple Music or Amazon Music. Those require paid subscriptions for those services, and you can either have the AT&T Hotspot subscription to support that streaming content, or you can use one of the other connected services bundles that Lexus has made available in order to stream this type of data. Or you can always just stream that content through those apps through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto that don't require an additional subscription. coming down to the phone icon in the Lexus menu. Let's talk about some phone system basics first. Then we'll look at how the phone operates with a Bluetooth-only connection and a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connection. If your phone has been set up for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you won't actually even need to click on the Lexus interface phone icon because you'll just use the phone app that's in your phone's device system on screen, so the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto system. If your phone is connected for Bluetooth only, then you'll use the Lexus interface phone icon to operate your phone in the vehicle. And your phone's going to work and look more like our previous generation multimedia system. When your phone is connected for Bluetooth only and you press the telephone button on your steering wheel, you'll open your recent calls on your main screen. Press the phone button again and you'll dial that most recent call. And then you'll have an opportunity to hang up from the steering wheel or on the main display. When your phone is connected for Bluetooth only, if you select Devices, you'll see the device letting you know the device name, the type of connection, and that it's also a primary device. You can select Manage Devices if you need to remove or change the type of connection that you're using. If you have text messaging turned on in the Bluetooth connection for your vehicle, where it says Show Notifications, you need to make sure that that feature is turned on. Texting through Bluetooth in the vehicle is possible. It's not quite as robust. So if you do a lot of texting in the vehicle, I highly recommend that you connect for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto rather than Bluetooth only. To restore your connection for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, come to Settings, select Bluetooth and Devices, select your phone's device, then toggle to Use for Apple CarPlay. And for an Android phone, of course, it would say Use for Android Auto. And now we're reconnected. Our phone system icon shows at the top of our Lexus interface menu again, and just click to open. Now click on the car icon to open our Vehicle Features menu. This list is going to appear differently depending on the equipment you have on your TX. So if your screen looks a little different from mine, don't worry, I'll try to cover as many screen options as possible. Right now I'm in a TX 500H F Sport Performance model. The item at the top will be the drive mode selector. Typically it will default to the normal drive mode. However, if you select Eco, you're going to see the different components on the powertrain that are going to be incorporated in accomplishing that Eco drive mode. Eco is going to try to help you be a little bit less of a lead foot. It kind of arcs you under your speed, and you'll see the Eco drive mode name appear on your multi-information display. And you'll also see kind of a blue lighting theme on your display. When you choose Eco mode and you turn the vehicle off and back on, it's going to stay in Eco mode. If you come to Sport mode, you're going to see a red theme and you're going to see additional items light up on our display, including on this vehicle, the steering and suspension system. Again, they're in red, adding to that sporty feel, and you'll see a red theme on your multi-information display, and you'll see the Sport drive mode indicated on the display as well. If you choose the Custom mode, you're going to see all of the customizable components on our graphic in gray. They're not going to light up for you with those color themes. You can make customizations. Just click to open the menu, and you'll see that we are in the Custom Drive Mode menu. You are able to adjust the powertrain from Sport, Normal, or Eco, the suspension system, Sport or Normal, steering, Sport or Normal, and you can even make an adjustment to the air conditioning system for Normal or Eco. If you change the air conditioning system to eco. That means it is going to cycle off of the AC compressor sooner. So if you live in an area like ours, where it is currently 99 degrees outside, I recommend that you leave that in normal. Just make your selection and click OK to exit. You can click on the vehicle icon again, and you'll come back to your drive mode view. When we select custom, you'll see the custom theme name on your multi-information display. Let's come back to our normal drive mode view. You'll see seat controls. If your vehicle has power folding second or third rows, just select seat controls, and right now the third row is folded down. So we can choose to raise that third row. Just touch, and you'll see the message that the seat is adjusting now, and the third row will fold up and into place. When you hear the two beeps, you'll know that each seat has completed the folding process. You'll also see on screen that the action is done, but you will need to manually put those third row headrests into place. If you have a power folding second row, you'll also be able to fold those seats on screen. You can also select each seat if you would like to fold one seat at a time. Just touch again to deselect, or you can choose to fold all seats at the same time. Completely up to you. Just select fold when you're ready. And it is completely normal to hear those mechanisms clicking and adjusting. 2 beeps means we're all done. Notice now we have the option to fold all if we wanted to fold that other seat down, or we can raise the third row, and any seat that's folded flat will come back up and into place. Make sure the back seats are empty before you power fold them down from the front main screen. There are not weight sensors in the seats, so if you have someone or something back there, the seats will still fold. So make sure that your seats are empty before you fold them down. Clicking to go back, and we can open Driving Assist. To take a look at your driving assist features, you can either open the shortcut and then scroll to Driving Assist, or touch the car icon and we can open the same Driving Assist menu all in one screen. Driving Assist may look a little bit different on your vehicle. It's just, again, going to depend on the equipment that you have on your Lexus. This is a great spot to see the safety features that you can quickly and easily turn on or off. When they're blue, they're on. If you touch and they're black and white, they're off. When you turn items on or off on this screen, you may also see warning lights and messages appear on your multi-information display. Selecting to turn lane departure alert off, and the icon also turns off on your multi-information display. When we turn it back on, the icon turns back on. The lane departure alert system is the most basic level for your lane monitoring system. When lane departure alert is turned on, the system is using the front camera to look for lane markers on the road that you're traveling on. And if you're not using your blinker and you start to float toward a lane, it's going to give you an alert, and it can even give you a little nudge in the right direction to help you stay back on course. If you are using your blinker, you'll override the system and you won't have a correction as you change lanes. If you're wondering about this icon, it's for Lane Trace Assist, and it's controlled with this button on the steering wheel. You can turn Lane Trace Assist off and on from the steering wheel, but Lane Departure Alert is controlled separately through the Driving Assist features on the main screen. This gives you more customization and more support for day-to-day driving. Moving across to the Parking Assist. If your vehicle has Intuitive Park Assist, those are the sensors that beep at you if you start to get too close to something. When Parking Assist is off, you'll see the orange icon letting you know that parking assist is turned off. Turn it back on and the icon goes away. Parking Support Brake is the auto braking feature. Parking Support Brake is an optional feature that works in conjunction with the parking sensors and the rear cross-traffic alert system and other safety systems on the vehicle to help mitigate a potential accident at low speeds, especially under circumstances like parking. So if you're getting an alert from your parking sensors or even the rear cross-traffic alert system, and you slow down, but maybe you don't come to a complete stop, the vehicle is going to apply the brake for you. That's Parking Support Brake. Notice that when Parking Support Brake is turned off, you'll see two things on screen. One is a large message that says Parking Support Brake off, and the other is a vehicle in a circle, and that's all lit in orange. There are a variety of different safety features that will show you that symbol when they're turned off. So if we turn our Parking Support Brake back on, the message goes away and that icon goes away. And coming over to the on-off for blind spot monitor. So the blind spot monitor really is looking into your blind spot. So if you can see the car right beside you, that's not what the blind spot monitor system is there for. The blind spot monitor is trying to see where you cannot. So you'll have the visual alert in the side mirror. It's going to light up solid if someone's in your blind spot, and it's going to blink at you when you have your blinker on. So if you've turned on your indicator to change lanes and someone is in your blind spot, you'll see that blind spot monitor icon flash in the side view mirror, and now you'll hear two chimes, just to give you an additional alert. When you turn it off, Blind Spot Monitor will also tell you that it's off with the large message and the general safety feature off warning icon. And when you turn it back on, you'll see the warning messages clear. Safe Exit Assist also shows you a message when it's off, along with the safety warning icon. Turning that back on so that your Safe Exit Assist can help you prevent opening the door into oncoming traffic. Rear cross traffic alert looks for vehicles crossing at the rear of your vehicle when you are backing up. When you turn it off, we also see the message that it's off and our safety warning icon. Just click to turn it back on and the warning messages will clear. Rear camera detection is actually looking for pedestrians crossing or near the rear of the vehicle when we are reversing. When you turn it off, rear camera detection also gives us our warning messages on screen. And when you turn it back on, all the warning messages will clear. Proactive driving assist, it's coming off by default in a lot of areas. Just click to turn it on. And when you do, you will see that same indicator light appear on your display on screen. This is only active when you are not using cruise control, and it basically tries to keep you from tailgating. So it tries to keep you from coming up too quickly behind another vehicle. It's also looking on the sides, so that's why you'll see kind of these little bubbles, so a little buffer zone at the front and the sides of the vehicle. You'll also notice the proactive driving assist icon turn off when cruise control is turned on, because with dynamic cruise control, you are establishing your own following distance. When cruise control is turned off and proactive driving assist is turned on, it's going to maintain its own little buffer zone. Road sign assist, when that feature is off, you don't actually see any kind of message come up on your multi-information display. It's just not going to show you the signs that it's designed to look for. Speed limit signs, stop signs, right of way, things like that. So you'll need to make sure that you've selected for road sign assist to be on here. and your pre-collision system. If you turn pre-collision off, it is going to tell you a big message that says pre-collision system turned off, and then you will have the pre-collision system off icon in orange on the right-hand side. And when you turn the vehicle back on, pre-collision is going to turn back on. Ultimately, we would rather that you leave pre-collision on and just make customizations in the settings if you choose to. The pre-collision system is designed to help mitigate an accident wherever possible. It will pre-tension the seat belts, prime the airbags, prime the brakes, give you lots of different warnings to try to help assist you in an emergency situation where the vehicle determines that a collision is highly possible. So we'll turn pre-collision system back on. And click on Vehicle to go back. Selecting Active Sound Control. Many of the performance line vehicles in the Lexus lineup have active sound control. We can adjust the sound level from high, medium, low, or off. You'll see the message below just describing what this is doing. So the active sound control system is an electronic sound generator. What that does is pipe in engine sound to give more of a sporty feel as you accelerate or decelerate. And most people don't even notice it. But if you do notice it and it bothers you, you can always turn it off. Selecting trip information, you can review your current trip information regarding fuel economy. You can review the information or clear the data. And if you select history, you'll see historic information, including a previous best. You can clear data here and also update if you prefer. Selecting current and selecting vehicle to come back. If your vehicle is a hybrid, you'll be able to open the Energy Flow Monitor. The Energy Flow Monitor is kind of a summary screen that lets you know where the energy is coming from or going to. Right now, keep in mind, it's very hot here, and so our gasoline engine has turned on in order to help support the charge level of the hybrid battery. So we see that graphic with the energy lines moving from the gasoline engine through the motor generator and the hybrid system to the hybrid battery. So the gasoline engine will come on as needed to support the charge level of the hybrid battery. Sometimes the vehicle will be in all-electric mode, and other times it will work in combination. It's always going to do whatever it needs to do to make the vehicle operate as efficiently as possible and accomplish everything that you're wanting, depending on your terrain, the climate control selections, and how you drive. And then as I press on the accelerator, now the energy is coming from the hybrid battery to power the wheels. Right now, still all electric. I'm traveling at pretty low speeds. If I were to accelerate, then the gasoline engine would kick on as needed. Selecting vehicle to come back and scrolling down to the all-wheel drive graphic. So this is going to light up as you're driving and the all-wheel drive system is being engaged. And one of the most popular items on here, I wish it was actually more toward the top, but our tire pressure is found in the vehicle features menu. So just select tire pressure. You'll see your tire pressure information on screen. If you come to vehicle alerts, this is where you'll see service-related alerts for your vehicle. Now let's select the settings gear to open our vehicle settings menu. Follow the steps in part 1 to set up your primary driver profile. Then, from the main settings menu, you'll see the name of the currently connected profile and a list of saved profiles, especially if you have multiple profiles saved to the vehicle. If you are connected to your Lexus as the primary driver profile, you'll be able to choose Edit, and then you can also delete your driver profile and any other driver profiles that have been saved to the system. We'll click Done Editing, You can also add additional profiles from this screen. By default, the first profile that you enter into the system will be the primary driver profile. When you set up an additional driver profile, it's important to know a few things. Number one, each driver profile will need to have their own Lexus App account. That means they need to set up a Lexus App account with their own email address and their own mobile number. Number two, only the primary driver profile will add the vehicle in their app. So that step where you scan the VIN and then you connect by a code, only the primary driver profile will do that. They will be able to see the vehicle in their Lexus App garage, and they'll have remote start controls and access to all of the subscriptions. Number three, each Lexus App account needs to have a 6-digit security PIN. But it's okay if you use the same security PIN. If you're sharing your vehicle, it's totally fine. Some people like to use their birthday or an important anniversary date. Whatever works best for you. If you're not sure what your Lexus PIN is, click on the profile icon on the top right-hand corner of your app screen. Come to Account and Security Settings. Give permission. If you see Set PIN, you'll select Set PIN. If you see Reset PIN, you already have a Lexus App account PIN. You can either guess at what that is, just don't guess too many times or you will be locked out for a little while, or reset the PIN. If you choose that, it is going to tell you they need to verify your identity for security reasons. So you will click Confirm, and then you'll have to sign back in to the app with your credentials, and then you'll enter your 6-digit PIN, and you'll enter it twice just to confirm the PIN in the system. You'll also need the PIN when adding an additional profile to the vehicle. So let's add another profile and see how that works. Make sure that you're signed in to your Lexus app. Then you can select Add Profiles, and the system will detect any active profile that is in range. That's why we need to have our Lexus app already open and signed in before we start. You're going to click on your name on screen, and then you're going to enter your 6-digit PIN. I have made a ridiculously easy PIN just for demonstration purposes. Then click Submit. If you don't remember your PIN, you can choose to reset it, but it is going to direct you back to the Lexus app because the PIN is always set or reset in the security settings in the Lexus app. I'm being asked now, do I want to save the profile? Also, do I want to be the primary? So I am not the primary driver, so I do not want to select Save as Primary Driver. However, if I'm new to this vehicle and it is my vehicle now, I would then select Save as Primary Driver, and then it will kick out the primary driver that was there before, and I would be able to go through the full app setup process. But I am going to save my profile to the car, but not the car to my app. I'm going to click Continue, and then I'll be saved as an additional driver on the vehicle. I can choose to pair my phone for Bluetooth and Apple CarPlay. So I'm just going to do my normal steps. On my iPhone, I'm going to Settings, I'm going to open Bluetooth, I'm going to tell it to search for devices, select my phone's name, and then follow the prompts on the phone screen and the vehicle screen to get connected. We'll select Pair, and OK will allow for contacts and call history. And our next prompts will be about Apple CarPlay. And sometimes it takes a while. Yes, enable Apple CarPlay. And we need to also enable CarPlay and give permission on the iPhone. We want to select Use CarPlay and allow the apps to mirror to the vehicle. Now if we come back to settings, we'll see that I am the current driver, but guess what? I still have personal info settings that I can manage. I want to make sure you know about this feature, especially if you valet park. It is called Sign Out to Guest Mode. When you valet park, you'll choose Sign Out to Guest Mode, and it's going to let you know that guest mode is activated. When guest mode is activated, you'll see that there's no longer an Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connection. And if we come to the Lexus Maps and we select Destinations, you'll notice that home and work are no longer available, even if you've saved them in your personal driver profile, and favorites and recents that are your personal trips or searches for navigation will not show up under the guest driving mode. So this is a great way to maintain privacy when you valet park. Then when you get back into your vehicle, just come to Settings, select your profile name, and then enter the PIN on screen when prompted. You'll also use the 6-digit PIN when you're switching between profiles. Just select the name of the profile that you'd like to connect to and enter the PIN on screen when prompted. Make sure you're connected as the profile that you want to customize. Then come to Personal Info. We'll see which driver is selected and which Bluetooth device is theirs. You can manage the Bluetooth devices that are associated with your profile. You can also set up Face ID. Click Set Up Face, Accept to accept the terms, and then you'll click Begin and look straight ahead. If you have trouble getting the monitor to see your face, make sure that you are sitting up and that your seat is adjusted properly. If you need to remove the linked Face ID, it sounds a little weird, but you'll click Remove Face, and then that will take out the Face ID that's been registered. Remember that Face ID does help the vehicle to connect to your driver profile, so it's great. If you have it, might as well use it. The other item that's really important to set up is linking your key. Make sure that you have your selected key in the vehicle and all other smart keys outside of the vehicle. Just click on the toggle to link key. It will turn blue. If you do have multiple keys in the vehicle, you'll receive a message telling you that there are multiple keys in the vehicle and you need to remove those keys. This will allow your vehicle to very quickly and easily recognize your driver profile when you are unlocking the vehicle, especially from the driver's door. So just keep that in mind. You can choose to reset all settings back to the system defaults, and you can even delete this driver profile from the personal info screen. Coming to Bluetooth and devices, this is again where we manage the devices that are paired and connected to the vehicle. Selecting settings to go back, and coming to the general settings menu. In the general settings menu, you can turn off or leave on the screen beep. You can also adjust the screen sensitivity, 1, 2, or 3. The higher sensitivity will allow you to operate the screen more easily if you're wearing gloves in the winter. Otherwise, just leave it on 1 or 2. You can select date and time with a Drive Connect subscription connected to your driver profile. The new cloud-based Lexus navigation system allows the system to adjust the date and time automatically. The first and foremost is right at the top, set date and time by GPS. If we toggle that on, it's going to eliminate all of those other customizations because it's doing everything for you automatically, except for the choice of a 24-hour clock or reformatting the layout for your date and time. If we toggle off the set date and time by GPS, then we see the other features that allow you to manually set your time zone and daylight saving time. And with the Drive Connect navigation version of the clock, we add the capability of automatically locating us in our time zone and automatically adjusting for daylight saving time. If you're not using the set date and time by GPS, once you've made your selections for time zone and daylight saving time, even if your selection is set to auto, you can also then turn on set time automatically, and the clock will adjust based on the selections that you've chosen. You may be asking yourself, why do I have to set the time automatically if I have already chosen auto for the time zone and daylight saving time? That's because you have the option of automatically adjusting based on your selections or manually adjusting your clock. Set the time manually if you would like to adjust your clock just a little ahead. You can select set minutes to 00 to reset to the top of an hour, and OK to save. But of course, the easiest setting is always going to be set date and time by GPS if you have that feature available. Without the GPS connection through the Drive Connect subscription, we just need to make the selection ourselves. And you can customize the date format to your preference. This is going to apply to notifications in the inbox for things like over-the-air updates. Anywhere that a date might appear, you are able to choose your date format layout. Coming to keyboard, and you can clear the search history. Select language and units, and you can change the vehicle display and response language from English, Spanish, or French. The measurements can be selected automatically, or you can turn the automatic selection off, and then you can choose from what's available on your screen. Keep in mind that the measurements are typically specific to the area that the vehicle was programmed to be sold in. You can also scroll down and choose a different tire pressure measurement if you prefer. Select settings to go back and come to notifications. You can turn off or leave on the notifications for software updates. Those are the over-the-air updates that come to the vehicle. You can also choose to leave vehicle suggestions on, off, or to appear only when you're at a stop. Vehicle suggestions are things like a reminder that your headlights are on when you've turned the vehicle off, and they want to make sure that you turn the headlights off or back to auto before you exit your Lexus. You can also turn off or leave on your virtual assistant. You can turn navigation during phone calls on or leave that off. And you can turn off or leave on turn-by-turn notifications, traffic alerts, state border guidance, guidance on unverified roads, and notifications about high occupancy vehicle or toll lanes. These navigation customizations all apply to the Lexus Drive Connect navigation system. Navigation apps being used by your phone for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto are all customized within that particular app's settings on your phone. Select Wi-Fi, and you're going to see two different items. The vehicle has a capability of turning on a Wi-Fi hotspot. The Wi-Fi hotspot does require a subscription through AT&T. It does come with a complimentary trial period. It has a pre-assigned password, but if you click on that item, you can customize the password. We'll click the X to close. You can review the security version, and you can allow passengers to connect without the password. So even with the password, if you have passengers that you know you would like them to connect, just click Connect Without Password. That allows them 2 minutes to get their devices connected to your hotspot, and then it will time out. You can also click on any other item to cancel the timer once they've gotten connected. So if you come back to Wi-Fi, you'll see that Connect Without Password has been reset. And you can toggle the hotspot off when you're no longer using it. If you select Wi-Fi, this allows your vehicle to look for wireless signals. So if we turn that on, it's going to let you know that the vehicle is not able to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto while it connects to a hotspot. Usually, you only need to connect to a hotspot if you have a large over-the-air update that needs a stronger signal. So we'll just click Cancel, and then Settings to return to our Settings menu. Coming to Display, you can turn the display off, and when you do, you may see lots of fingerprints. So you'll want to get out your handy dandy microfiber cloth and clean it up. When you're ready to turn it back on, just touch anywhere on the screen and then click right in the box that says Touch to turn screen on. You can adjust the mode for your screen automatically or choose the daytime or light mode or the nighttime or dark mode. You can adjust the brightness and contrast for day mode and night mode independently. We'll just select to have it change automatically, so at night, the bright screen will dim. Coming to the camera selection, this will adjust the view that you see either from the backup camera while the vehicle is in reverse or from the 360 monitor if your vehicle is equipped with the panoramic view monitor. And you can adjust brightness and contrast, and this just gives you an example. So as you make the change, your screen will just reflect that change right away. Clicking Settings to go back, and scroll down and let's open Sound and Media. The vehicle has an auto sound levelizer that adjusts the audio volume based on your driving speed. That can be left on or turned off. When you have a phone connected for Bluetooth only, meaning you're not connected actively to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, when you come to the Sound and Media Settings section and you look at levels, you'll have additional sound setting levels available for different volume controls. Ringtone, new message volume if texting permissions have been turned on through your phone settings, and received call volume. If you are connected for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you will not be adjusting your volumes here because you make those adjustments in your phone. You can also adjust the system voice, how loud or soft do you want your Lexus Assistant volume, and the driving assist volumes. The driving assist volume adjusts the sounds that are made after you click Start at the beginning of the advanced park procedure. And you can turn surround sound off or leave it on. Coming to sound tuning, if these items are grayed out, it just means that your audio system is turned off. So press the power button to turn it on. Then you can use the slide bar to adjust the treble, mid-range, and bass. Keep in mind that you will be making that adjustment for each different source. When you adjust the balance and fade, that is going to be a universal change. So if you adjust the balance and fade, this is going to apply to any audio source. If you'd like to put it back to center, just click Recenter. Selecting media, you can turn off or leave on the display cover art, so the album art that's available. And scrolling down, you'll see radio. Under radio, you can turn off or leave on your display FM information, details that are being broadcast by the FM stations about the content that they're playing, and the HD radio signal for FM or AM. You can clear your radio station history, and you can scroll down and turn off or leave on the enhanced metadata for artwork. The enhanced metadata that pulls in more current artwork for album and artist artwork that shows on screen. Selecting SiriusXM, you'll see whether or not your subscription is active. You can turn off or leave on notifications, and you can choose to block explicit content. You can also turn off or leave on a feature called Tune Start. I happen to really like this Tune Start feature. It allows you to start at the beginning of a song when you select a music channel. Rather than changing from one channel to another and ending up somewhere in the middle of a song, it's going to automatically start you at the beginning of the song that's playing on that channel. If we select Sports, we're able to turn off or leave this feature on. When you leave it on, it's really cool to be able to choose a sport and then choose a team, and then select OK. Once we've chosen a team, that means we're going to be notified with content about that team. With music, we can allow the system to tell us when favorite artists or songs are playing if we've selected to be notified about that content. Coming to help and support, and we will see the SiriusXM customer care number. You'll also see the radio ID for your vehicle and the SiriusXM version currently running on your system. Make sure to know that when you are looking for your radio ID, if you're talking to SiriusXM on the phone and your phone is connected to the vehicle, this is the only spot that you can get your radio ID on the screen. Select Sound and Media to go back, and Settings to return to our main settings menu. Now let's open Navigation. Under Map Details, we can leave on or turn off map overlays for traffic incidents, free-flowing traffic. Those are the traffic flow lines. The green letting us know it's moving, the orange color letting you know that traffic is slower. Red would indicate bumper-to-bumper traffic. And if you see a dark red or black line, that indicates a road or lane closure. Selecting Settings to go back and coming back to Navigation. We can also choose to leave on or turn off points of interest. Keep in mind that currently our home and work addresses for the Lexus Drive Connect system are managed in the app under the Destinations feature. Favorites can be saved in the app on your phone and through the system on the vehicle. You can also select to calibrate the map if needed. We'll click Cancel and come to Route Options. If you would like to avoid tolls, highways, ferries, seasonal roads, or border crossings, make sure that you select that here. But if you do not want to avoid those things, make sure that you turn that off. So if you turn on to avoid something, it's going to navigate you to your destination without using those items. So if you have a toll tag and you want to use toll roads, make sure that Avoid Tolls is turned off. Select Settings to go back and come to Vehicle Customize. Your Vehicle Customize settings list will be different depending on whether or not your vehicle has a head-up display. If it does, that's going to be the first item that you'll see on this list on the left-hand side. If you don't have a head-up display on your Lexus, the first item will be the meter customization. Let's take a look. Just click to open Head-Up Display, and you'll see that you can turn the feature off or on. You can adjust the brightness with the slide bar, and you can choose the HUD theme or layout here, selecting from full, standard, or minimal, depending on how much content you'd like to view in the head-up display. You can also adjust the height, up, down, and the rotation, clockwise and counterclockwise. Keep in mind that the rotation is very subtle, but if you do make changes to the HUD position, make sure to resave your driver position memory because it is included in those saved settings. When you choose meter, you'll see that there are 3 different meter types. Remember, in part 1, we took a look at how to customize the large multi-information display. So depending on the type of display you have, your meter type views may be a little different than what you see in this video. But just click on each type and see what you prefer. So this is type 1, type 2, and type 3. Coming back to type 1, select OK to save your changes. For vehicles that have a tachometer customization, you can allow it to switch automatically from the tach or the hybrid vehicle meter, or you can select tach only or hybrid vehicle meter only. We'll allow for auto switching, and we'll select OK to save. When you have the stoplights display on, that means you'll see the brake light graphics also show on your multi-information display anytime the brakes are applied on your Lexus. If you turn that off, then when you apply the brakes, you will not see those brake light graphics on your multi-information display. I think that's a really cool feature. I always like to leave that turned on. You can choose to leave on or turn off the EV indicator, the rev indicator, and if you have the rev indicator turned off, you won't see that rev indicator customization. So turn it back on and you can customize the rev indicator settings. You'll also be able to turn off or leave on the rev peak. Coming to lights, and you can adjust the sensitivity for the auto headlights. When you select that, you can allow the headlights to come on sooner rather than later. So if it is still brighter out, bright, normal, waiting for it to get dark, or even darker before those headlights come on. Most people prefer normal or bright or brighter. Select OK to save. You have an auto off timer for your headlights as long as your headlights are in the auto mode. This means that when you exit the vehicle and you lock your Lexus, the headlights can stay on for you 30, 60, or 90 seconds, and then they'll automatically turn off. You can choose to turn this feature off if you prefer. If you'd like to have this feature turned on, but there may be an occasion where you'd like to turn the headlights out automatically, just use the lock button on your key fob. When you press it twice, it will turn your headlights off. Select OK to close. You can allow daytime running lights to remain on or turn the feature off. You can customize the amount of time that your exterior lights stay on. This would be additional lighting on the exterior of the vehicle. Customizations are 7.5 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or off. And the same is true for the interior lights, 7.5, 15, 30 seconds, or off. Coming to illumination, if you have the customizable thematic ambient lighting, you'll be able to choose a color theme. The default is a daylight white. You can choose any of the pre-selected themes, or you can choose custom, select OK, then touch on the color sample, and then pick whatever color you like. Click OK, and you'll see the color change for the interior ambient lighting. You can adjust the brightness on the slide bar for all zones, or select by zone, and then you can customize the brightness level for the front, rear, and footwell lighting. Just deselect if you would like all ambient lighting zones to have the same brightness level. Let's come to door control. You can allow the vehicle to automatically unlock when you ship to park, or when you open the driver's door, or you can turn that feature off. When you turn the feature off, you will need to press the unlock button to exit the vehicle. The wireless electronic key, the key fob, to press unlock, that means press the unlock button twice and it's going to unlock the entire vehicle. Lock when door opened. This is awesome. This helps you if you're doing camping or tailgating. You'd like to keep the entire car locked except the back door. Here's how this works. Open the back door, and then you'll lock your vehicle with the lock button in the door handle. You're not able to use the Smart Access locking indentation on the outside of the door handle or the electronic lock button on your key fob. You do need to press the button in the door handle to lock the car. You'll see the green light turn on. Then just close the door. It's a great way to keep the passenger interior area secure while you've got access to the cargo area. Scrolling down, you have a control for the Smart Access doors. When you unlock from the driver's door handle, do you want it to only unlock the driver's door, or would you like it to unlock all doors? Scrolling down to some key settings, there is an auto relock timer. You can set this for 30, 60, or 120 seconds, or you can turn the feature off. The most important thing to know about the auto relock timer is that it means that if you have unlocked the vehicle, whether it's from the key fob or the Smart Access system, and you do not open a door, the vehicle is going to automatically lock itself after any of the time that you've selected, 30, 60, or 120 seconds. Currently, Lexus does not have an auto locking feature, meaning if you've gone for a drive, you turn off the vehicle and exit, when you close the doors, they're not going to automatically lock for you. They will only automatically relock if you unlock the vehicle and don't open a door. You can turn off or leave on the feedback lights. Those are the lights that you see when you lock and unlock the vehicle. And you can increase or decrease the volume of the locking and unlocking feedback tone. Scrolling down, you can turn off or leave on the power back door feature, the kick sensor, that's your hands-free feature, and you can change the volume from soft, normal, or loud for the power back door buzzer sounds. You can also customize the opening position from inside the vehicle. So there are 5 different levels. I really prefer to customize this from outside so you can actually see that height opening, but this is a pretty simple way to make a quick adjustment if you need to from inside your Lexus. Coming to boarding and exit, as part of your Driver Easy Exit feature, you can adjust the amount of seat slide when you turn the vehicle off from full, partial, or you can turn it off and then the seat won't slide back when you turn the vehicle off. On this vehicle, you can also adjust the seat lift, full, partial, or off. And you can allow the steering column to tilt, be telescopic, so it will push away from you, or you can set it to tilt and telescopic, so it will tuck up and away. You can also turn that feature off. Select OK, and come down to Custom Drive Mode. This is the menu that we use to make our custom drive mode selections from our drive mode selector in the Vehicle Features menu. Coming back to Settings, opening Vehicle Customize, and coming down to Tire Pressure. If you have multiple sets of tires, you can register a second set. The items that you see for registration and air pressure reference value are usually customized by a technician when you have tire rotation or a tire change, and if they need to reset the tire pressure values for your tire pressure readout. If the next item you see is steering switch, That means you have a customizable steering wheel with touch-sensitive arrow pads that operate your head-up display. Both right side and left side have two different menu screens that you can see and control. Only one screen on each side is customizable. Just select the left side. You'll see a drop-down menu for layout. The default layout is for audio. You can turn the audio system off and on, change modes, and scroll through your radio favorites that you've saved to the system. Select Climate, and you'll see that you have an opportunity to choose this as the layout for the additional view that's operated on the left-hand side of your steering wheel. So you could adjust the temperature up and down, you could have recirculating air, and even an airflow mode button. Or select Custom, click OK, then choose any button and select Add. You can choose to leave that spot empty or pick one of two audio controls, mode or power, or you could make a selection of different climate controls. You can create a shortcut for auto, and you can create a shortcut to turn the entire HVAC system off, or a shortcut to operate the manual control of your AC compressor. And you can do the same thing with the other three buttons in the custom layout. We'll come back to our audio default setup. Now open the right side and you'll see the options that we have for customizing the additional right side screen. Our display control screen is the default. That's where we can raise and lower our head-up display and make a selection for items that are found in the multi-information display. But if we open the menu, we could choose Custom, select OK, select Add, and then choose from the items that are available in the list for the right side customizations. You have head-up display on/off, head-up display mode, and head-up display position. You can also choose a shortcut for disabling the auto engine stop-start feature if you have an all-gas Lexus equipped with that feature. Depending on your Lexus, you may have other customizations that are available with this setup. On some models, you can even include a shortcut for your drive mode selector right to your head-up display. Just click, select OK. Now when you open that view on the head-up display, you'll be able to use that shortcut right away to access whatever your customization was, and in my case it was sport mode. We can also shortcut the view monitor. That's pretty handy. Let's say OK to that. And there's our customization for view. Watch this. Push that view monitor button, and there we are, 360 panoramic view monitor. And then you can repeat that process with any other available button. Or come back to the default setting for the right-hand side, which is display controls. Select Options, and you can turn on or leave off the winter gloves mode. When you have winter gloves mode on, that means you can drive with gloves on and have an easier time activating those switches, because remember that it does require you to touch the arrow pads to wake up those buttons before you press and make your selection of the item that you want to use. We'll turn that off for now and click Vehicle Customize to return to our previous menu. Coming to Climate, and you can adjust the sensitivity for the front left and front right seat heat and fans to come on automatically based on the temperature you've selected for the cabin and whatever the outside temperature happens to be. So when you put the system in auto mode, you can increase or decrease the sensitivity by 2 levels to make the automatic operation of the seat climate to come on sooner or later on each side for the auto seat temperature. You can also adjust the operation time, increasing or decreasing by 2 levels for the heated steering wheel. And you can turn off or leave on the AC with auto mode. We'll talk more about this in the climate section, but basically this puts the AC compressor on/off fully in manual mode. Coming to utility, you can turn off or leave on the rear seat reminder. That's the pop-up message that is triggered by opening a back door before you go for a drive. Also, when this is turned on, if you open a back door and then go for a drive, and then you exit the vehicle without checking the back seat, so without reopening a back door, and then you lock the car, here's what happens. 9 beeps, lots of beeps. You can choose to turn that off, but it is there as a safety feature, so you can leave that on, especially if you travel with children. If your vehicle has the optional power outlet at the rear, you can choose to turn that on under this utility menu if you plan to use it. Otherwise, you can leave it off. You can also turn it off or on in the shortcut menu. Make sure to note that the vehicle does have to be totally on to use the optional rear power outlet. Another item to know about is the ACC Customize setting. ACC Customize is an accessory customization. When the accessory Customize is set to off, like you see here, that means that when we turn the vehicle off, we are allowing certain accessories to remain on, like our screen and our audio system, until we open the driver's door. Then everything turns off. When ACC Customize is set to on, that means we're requiring the vehicle to be on to operate our accessories. So if we turn the vehicle off, everything turns off right away. We also have an additional place to customize active sound control: high, medium, low, or off. Click OK to close. There are some noise canceling components to active sound control, so keep that in mind if you choose to turn that feature off. When your vehicle has maintenance, you'll be able to reset the scheduled maintenance reminder here. You'll also be able to reset the oil maintenance reminder. So keep in mind that there are 2 different maintenance reminders. The scheduled maintenance reminder is for your every 5,000 miles or 6 months, whichever comes first, that doesn't usually include an oil change. Your oil changes are going to come every 10,000 miles or once a year, depending on how much you drive. Select Settings to go back and come to Driving Assist. You'll see 3 items in the Driving Assist menu. When you open Driver Support, depending on the equipment on your vehicle, you may or may not see all of the items that I'm showing you here. If your Lexus is equipped with the optional Traffic Jam Assist feature, Traffic Jam Assist can be turned on or off. Make sure to note that you must have an active Drive Connect subscription and is only available when you are using dynamic radar cruise control, so adaptive cruise control. Under about 24 miles per hour, the vehicle will slow down, then come to a stop, and then instead of you having to tap the accelerator or click resume, the vehicle will resume driving for you. All right, the system knows that we are in a traffic jam. So smart. So it is accelerating for me as able and slowing me down, even coming to a stop. It also tells me that it is recording. Driver monitor recording can allow the camera to document while traffic jam assist is being used. You can turn that off or leave it on. And you can make customizations to your proactive driving assist feature. So remember, proactive driving assist is only on when adaptive cruise control is off. If you're not using the radar cruise control, you can have some additional proactive steps that the vehicle can take to try to help mitigate a potential accident. before the pre-collision system would take over. You can adjust the sensitivity, high, medium, or low, and you can turn off or leave on steering assist, deceleration assist. This is the one that most people notice because it will feel like the vehicle is just slightly slowing down for you to help keep you from coming up too quickly behind another vehicle. And the obstacle anticipation assist. This is when the system is looking not only in front of you, but on the side of the road. It's a pretty incredible system, but if you're not familiar with it, it can feel a little different while you're driving. So you may want to just drive and experience it, make some customizations, and then if you don't like it, then you could turn it off. Scrolling down to the dynamic radar cruise control, the extended resume time feature needs to be left on, especially if you want to use that traffic jam assist feature. You can also customize the acceleration from high, medium, or low. You'll need to drive with each one of these adjustments to feel what this feels like as the driver, and then make the selection that you prefer. This is really a personal preference. The guide message can be turned off or left on, and the reduce speed function can be turned off or adjusted to high, mid, or low. Scrolling down to our lane departure alert system, you can have the alert timing remain at the default setting, or you can choose to have it alert you sooner if you begin to depart your lane without having your blinker on. When you have your blinker on, your lane monitoring system knows that you want to leave the lane, so you won't get an alert. If you are getting an alert, it can be either a vibration of the steering wheel or an audible alert. You can also turn off lane change assist if your vehicle is equipped with lane change assist. For lane change assist to operate, when you put your blinker on, the system will use the blind spot monitor, other sensors and cameras on the vehicle to look in the blind spot and ahead of your vehicle to the lane that you would like to change to. If all is clear, it will assist you in making that lane change. There we go. You'll hear a little beep. Lane change assist. You can also turn off or leave on the driver monitor alerts. This will not turn off the driver attention monitor. It also won't turn off every single alert. It will turn off the messages telling you to sit up or perhaps that you're not paying attention. There are a variety of messages that can pop up, including a message that suggests that you sit up in a more upright, safe driving position. It will turn off some of the alerts, but if you drive with your arm at the top of the steering wheel and you block the driver attention monitor, you are going to definitely get an alert. So make sure to bring your hands down to a safe driving position that does not obstruct the driver attention monitor. Coming to collision mitigation, the pre-collision warning time can be customized to warn you earlier or later, or just leave it at the default warning time. If your vehicle has front cross traffic alert, you'll see a couple of settings here. You can choose to turn front cross traffic alert off or leave it on and adjust the alert timing. So you can be alerted earlier or later, or leave it at the default. All right, front cross traffic alert is what you just saw and heard on screen. You can change the parking assist volume, so how loud those beeps are when you're getting close to something. Mid is the default volume setting, but you can change it to low or high. And you can make customizations to the blind spot monitor. You can have the alerts come earlier or later. You can turn off or leave on the buzzer. And you can change the icon brightness from bright to dim. Just make your selection and press OK to save. You can turn off the outside rear view mirror indicator for safe exit assist. And you can adjust the sensitivity for safe exit assist, low, medium, or high. Pressing OK and coming to notification. The road sign assist customizations have two different categories: speed customizations for detected speed limit information and other signs. Other signs include things like stop signs, yield signs, and right-of-way. The first customization you'll see is for excess speed. You could choose to have no alert, visual only, which would mean the speed limit sign would then change to an orange color if you've exceeded the speed, or visual and audible. You can also make the same customization for other types of signs, like the stop signs, things like that. So either turn that feature off by choosing none, or have visual only or visual and audible as your customization. When you have the excess speed notification allowed, you'll also be able to customize the excess speed level, whether you've exceeded the speed by 1, 3, or 5 miles over that posted speed. Scrolling down a little bit and you'll see a driver brake suggestion. This is actually linked to your lane monitoring system. If the lane monitoring system has given you multiple corrections in a row, it thinks that you might be a fatigued driver. So it is going to pop up a suggestion for you to perhaps just take a break so that you're driving safely. We'll select Settings to come back and then open Voice and Search. You can turn off or leave on the wake word and the voice prompts. If you turn off the wake word, which is actually the wake phrase, "Hey Lexus," that means you're going to need other methods to wake up your voice assistant. You can use the voice command button on the steering wheel or the soft button on screen. Keep in mind, this is just for your Lexus assistant. Your phone's assistant wake words will still be available as long as you have your phone connected for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Or leave the wake words turned on and just say, "Hey Lexus," to activate your vehicle's assistant. Cancel. With the voice prompt feature, it is going to tell you that when it's disabled, the system is going to respond with beeps instead of prompts. And in some circumstances, that's correct. One thing to make sure that you're aware of is whether this feature is off or on. When you first launch your voice command system, it's only going to beep at you because it knows that you've given a command to get it started. Here's an example. "Hey Lexus." You'll see the message, but you'll just hear a beep. The voice prompt and voice assistant feedback seems to be evolving a lot with the Lexus interface system. As you own your vehicle and you have over-the-air updates, it is possible that you'll continue to see changes and enhancements with the voice prompt system. So for now, if you would like less voice prompts, I would say to turn the voice prompt setting off. You are still going to get some voice prompt feedback, which will happen more as a confirmation that the vehicle is either making a change or checking to make sure that the system got your command correct. But let's take a look at some examples of what I mean. If the voice prompts are off with the navigation system, for example, you're going to get a result on screen, but you're not going to get responses back until you begin navigating. I happen to like the prompts when I need them, so I'm going to leave that turned on. Scrolling down to dealer info, you can add your preferred Lexus dealer. Coming to info and security, you can customize the vehicle name. Just keep in mind that the name that appears here, that's how your phone's device name will show up when you're searching for it in a list of available Bluetooth devices, Apple CarPlay devices, and connected systems that use that name as a point of reference. The most important thing to know about privacy lock is that this is not what you want to use when you valet park. When you valet park, you want to use the feature we looked at before that allows you to exit to guest mode. That keeps your personal information off screen. The privacy lock, it requires a password if your head unit becomes disconnected from power, and then you would need to re-enter that password to disable the privacy lock feature. When the primary driver profile is actively connected to the system, you can do a system reset here, and it will reset everything on the vehicle back to the original settings. Coming to software update, if you've had a drop-down notification that a software update is available for the vehicle, this is where you'll come to do that update. You can also click on Model Info to scroll through information about all of the different software running on the vehicle. You can review the history of previous software updates, the versions and items that were changed. And you can review licensing information on screen. Selecting to go back, scrolling down, and opening apps. You can choose to reinstall all apps. These are not the apps from your phone. Any app on your phone that needs an update or a refresh permission needs to be performed on your phone itself. You can also set up the remote authorization for your Lexus Remote Start feature if you haven't already activated it through the Lexus app on your phone. Selecting to go back, and that's your entire Lexus interface settings menu. Now let's come down and take a look at our climate control system. You have temperature dials for the driver and the passenger. When the passenger adjusts their temperature, it's not going to change the driver's. So if you want to sync the temperatures, just select Sync, and then everything will match up to the driver's selected temperature. Let's look at some different components for the fan. You can select to turn it off. You can choose auto mode, and then all of your fan controls are in auto. You'll see a solid line, or take over manual control for the fan, and you'll see a dashed line and numbers letting you know the fan speed as you increase or decrease with the plus and minus icons on screen. You also have an airflow mode indicator, but a lot of times it doesn't look like it's on because there aren't arrows showing when it's in auto mode. So when you want to take over control of the airflow mode, just click on the seated person icon. You'll be able to toggle through face and feet, feet only, feet and defrost or defogger, face only, and back to face and feet. The recirculating and outside air feature also doesn't have a light on when it's in auto mode. So if you want manual control, just click recirculating on, recirculating off. And just like airflow mode, once you activate that manual mode, you can just toggle between the settings of recirculating or outside air, unless you launch auto. The AC compressor operates in the same way. When you don't see any kind of indicator light above it, it's in auto. Just click to take over. AC compressor on, AC compressor off. Clicking again to manually turn back on the AC compressor. If I select auto, everything for the fan comes back to auto. Fan speed, outside or recirculating air, the AC compressor, and the airflow mode. This can be a little confusing because I think they wanted to kind of visually declutter the screen, but most of us are really used to some sort of light or bar indicating whether a feature is on or off. So just know that if you've selected auto for the fan, everything for that fan is going to automatically operate for you based on the temperature that you've selected for the cabin and the current outside temperature. The heated and ventilated front seats also have an auto mode. The first press of either heat or fan will turn on the auto mode. If you want to take over, just click. There are 3 levels of fan and 3 levels of heat for the driver and the passenger. The heated steering wheel operates in a similar way. The first press turns on auto, the second press will be high, then click again for low, and again for off. With rear cabin climate, you'll be able to choose rear. You can turn the rear system off, increase or decrease fan speed, set the rear fan to auto, and again you'll get that solid white line, and adjust rear airflow mode, face and feet, feet only, face only, back to face and feet. And just like our front controls, if we set rear climate to auto, we won't have airflow mode indicator lines, and we'll have that solid line for our fan speed. Also, when you are adjusting rear cabin climate, you'll only see one temperature in the driver's side temperature dial because there is only one temperature selection for that zone. You can select to come back to the front climate controls, and you'll see all of the climate controls that we were previously looking at. We have one more climate item, the little climate tab. When you turn on Climate Concierge and you select auto, absolutely every climate control feature will be in the auto mode. Where the auto for fan controlled only fan systems, Climate Concierge in auto also incorporates the seat and steering climate controls. So when you want to take over, you actually have to take over each independent climate feature. It's a lot of clicking. S-Flow is like a smart flow, and it tries to direct air only to occupied seats. It's typically linked to opening a rear passenger door. When S-Flow is on, airflow can be off to unoccupied seats. So if you would like to have air flowing throughout the entire cabin, disable S-Flow. When S-Flow is off, air is on. You can also turn on or leave off the Eco Heat and Cool feature, and you can turn on or leave off the windshield wiper de-icer. You can click to close or just allow the screen to time out. We're going to come back to our little ice cube tray shortcut in a moment. Let's take a look at our front defogger. Just press to turn it on or off, and our rear window and side view mirror defogger. Press to turn it off or on. Now click to open our little ice cube tray. This is our little shortcut menu. It's a great spot to turn on or off frequently used items. So these items are going to vary depending on what you've been using. You'll also have max heat, max cool, silent, and a quick shortcut to turn that power on for your outlet.
If your TX has the power outlet on board,
you'll see dots here indicating that there are multiple pages. Just swipe. You can change your drive mode and turn on or off those driving assist features that we saw before. Just click to close or allow the system to time out. You'll see the hazard lights centered between your front air conditioning vents.
And let's come down to the advanced features on our lower center console.
Depending on the optional features on your vehicle, there's different layouts of this section.
The 360 panoramic view monitor uses 4 cameras.
You'll have a camera at the front of the vehicle, the rear backup camera, and a camera located under each side mirror. To turn on the view monitor, just press the view monitor button. You'll have one view in park and a different view when the vehicle is in drive. Either way, you have a menu bar on the left-hand side, and this menu bar is specifically for the view monitor. Pressing the view monitor button,
and when the vehicle is in park, you'll be able to see a full 360 overview. And there are 2 different screen options for that. So if you take a look at the menu bar on the left-hand side, you'll see some settings. If you click here, you can change from that see-through view to the overhead view. Just click again to change back. Just depends on your preference. You can pause if you need to check something, then play to resume, and again, just change whichever view you prefer. You can click the X to close, or you can click the settings gear to open additional settings for the panoramic view monitor and the advanced park feature. We'll do advanced park next. The settings that are available for the panoramic view monitor, you can turn off or on cornering view, the view under the vehicle. That's where it kind of looks like the vehicle is see-through and it shows you what you're driving over.
it stitches together images from the front, rear, and side cameras as you're moving forward and in reverse.
So it's very cool. You can also turn off or leave on the 3D display for the parking assist feature, and you can customize the distance or the sensitivity for the parking assist, how soon or late you would like it to respond. So do you want it to allow you to get a little bit closer? Depending on your garage, you may like that, or you can leave it at standard, and you can do that for the front and the rear of the vehicle. Just click OK if you've made a change. You can also customize the vehicle body color. Just click, and then you can choose whichever color you prefer, or just leave the default setting. Coming down, and you'll see the moving object alert. That's something you can turn off or on. And there are also warnings when the auto display mode is enabled. That's another time that you can turn off or on the moving object alert. Keep in mind that normally this is something you're going to be using while you're parking, so it's nice to know if someone's walking around you or another door opens with a vehicle that may be parked next to you. So I recommend leave everything on, especially as you're starting to get used to it. So I'm going to come back to the camera view. And remember, I said that this is the view in park. I'm going to click X to close. Now let's take a look at the view in drive. So I'm going to apply the brake, shift the TX into drive.
And if your panoramic view monitor is in the auto mode, then it's going to automatically turn on for you. Now this will happen automatically at lower speeds, so if you are in traffic or coming up to a stoplight, it's going to turn on for you, but only in the auto mode.
And now I have an entire different menu. And there we go, front cross traffic alert. You can also have an audible alert with that. So there it is, audible alert. It's going to also notify you with those arrows moving in the direction that that vehicle is coming from. So let's come back to our menu bar on the left-hand side. We could still click the X to close. We can change our view on the right-hand side screen to a more overhead view. This is great for parking in narrow situations. Click again, and you'll have that wide angle fisheye view. So this is going to show you more of what's in front of the vehicle and kind of reaching around to the sides of the vehicle. Great if you're coming out of a parking structure.
Right now we have that cornering view. When you have cornering view activated, you'll see the cornering view icon in the menu bar, and you'll see the cornering view image on the main screen on the right-hand side. This view will also happen automatically when you're making tighter turns at low speeds and your view monitor system is activated. So if I straighten out the wheels, you'll see the cornering view is hidden and we're back to our selection of either a narrow view or a straight on view. So notice that with the narrow view, we have some indication about where the sides of the vehicle are. Most people prefer the straight ahead view with the 360 on the left-hand side, and you can click to zoom at the rear or front of the vehicle if you need to zoom in to see what is around you. And click the X to close or just start to drive.
We can also make some customizations on the left-hand side. The blue lines show the vehicle when it's parked straight, and it kind of gives you a great frame of reference for where the front corners of the vehicle are. If we show the turn angle lines, you'll be able to also see those dynamic lines. So that's giving you an indication of the direction that you will go if your steering wheel is turned at that angle. When you straighten it out, if you don't see the yellow lines, then you know your wheels are straight. Coming down to the most important feature, the auto mode. Remember when we shifted into drive, the view monitor automatically turned on. If you don't like that, you can click on the auto mode. If you see the slash mark through it, it means the camera view will not turn on automatically. Let's check that out. If I put the vehicle back into park, now when I shift into drive, it's not going to bring the camera view on. So if I have it in manual mode, I need to then press the view monitor button to bring up the camera. Most people do prefer to leave the feature in auto so they don't have to think about it, but it can take a little getting used to when you're slowing down in traffic or coming up to a stop sign. It is going to turn on, so it's not just in parking situations, but I find it the most helpful for parking.
If you did want to quickly turn the 360 monitor off without turning off the auto mode, you can just use the view button. When you press it, you'll see that it's similar to the right side view setting that we used before. You can press to change from the wide view to the narrow view and press again to turn the system off.
And when you do so, you have not disabled the auto mode. And if you wanted to get back to the settings, just click the gear and you'll be in the same settings that we saw previously. Coming back to our camera view.
And let's take a look at our backup camera view.
So we'll just shift into reverse. With the backup camera view, you're also going to have menu settings on the left-hand side. If we just click, you can toggle through the view options. And again, we're changing the view on the larger tile on the right. And then we can change the lines that show. Right now, we have the dynamic center line, which is the dashed green line. This is great if you are doing any kind of towing. And then we have the dynamic yellow lines, so our projected turn angle. If you see the red line, you know you're getting much too close. And right now we've got rear cross traffic alert engaged. If we just click, we can cycle through the different line options for our backup camera. We can have the most traditional view, which gives you the dynamic yellow lines, the straightaway blue lines with the center dash mark, so that's showing the center line of the vehicle, and then of course red, very close to that back bumper. And click again to toggle. If you do not want to have the dynamic yellow lines, you can have the blue straightaway lines, and then this is like a lock to lock. So if you were to turn the wheel all the way to the right or all the way to the left, that would be your angle as you move backward in the vehicle. Clicking again, and you can eliminate all of the lines except the red line. So if we see that red line and we know we're backing up close to something, if we get close to that red line, you're going to hear a lot of beeps, see a lot of alerts, and you want to be careful. So we'll click one more time and we're back to the view that we had at the start. If we click on our settings, we're back to our camera settings. Nice and simple. Everything is in one spot. One other item to note on this screen is that this vehicle has a rear camera washer. So we can actually press that button and it will spray our rear window, wipe the rear window, and clean the backup camera. Very handy. Coming back to park.
Without the 360 monitor, your settings menu items are going to be along the bottom for the standard camera layout. You'll see your dynamic turn angle lines.
If we just click, you can toggle through the view options
and choose a different layout. All of these settings are the same if you have the standard backup camera or the 360 monitor version of the backup camera. On the left-hand side, you can choose from a wide-angle view, which is more of a fisheye view, or just click to select that straightaway view. And you can spray to clean your backup camera. So you're able to do that right on screen. It will also do it when you press your windshield wiper stalk forward to clean the back window and the backup camera.
All right, let's go put these cameras into action. We are going to do our advanced park feature. So let's go find a parking spot.
The advanced parking feature uses 12 ultrasonic sensors, 6 sensors across the front and 6 across the rear.
I recommend that you first practice with no other cars around, just so you can get the hang of it. So let's come up and find a parking spot that we would like to park this beautiful TX in. You can line up the door with the spot that you would like to park in. I could park here or here. If you're not quite sure where the spot is, don't worry, because when you press the Advanced Park button, the system is going to look for spots for you. Right now, it's seeing that there's kind of a large space because I am using 3 empty spots, but I can change, rather than parallel parking, I can tell the vehicle that I would like to perpendicular park, and I want this spot. I also can tell the vehicle if I want to go in forward or backward. So right now it's going to say start forward. That is not where you select for the vehicle to park forward or backward. That's actually here. So you're going to click on this box and you'll see the ghosted image, the example of what it's going to look like when we're parked in that spot, switch from heading in to backing in, and you'll see the back of the vehicle with an arrow facing toward the back of the parking spot. So if you wanted to go in forward, just make sure that this symbol shows the front of the vehicle or the back of the vehicle. So let's back into this parking spot. I'm going to click start. It's put my blinker on for me and it's telling me release the brake to move. It's also telling me moving forward. That means it is going to move the vehicle forward to position itself. So you do want to make sure that no one is around. I don't have to handle the wheel. It's going to do it for me. I don't even have my foot applying the brake. I have my foot hovering over the brake. If I apply the brake, it will cancel the advanced park command. So the purple box is where it's aiming. The yellow dynamic lines are showing me the intended path. This is a really big vehicle. If I owned a TX, I would definitely want advanced park. Advanced park finished. I don't know about you, but that's pretty awesome. It gives us a full 360 overview just so that we can make sure that the area is clear, and it's put the TX into park. And now it's done. If we want to use advanced park to leave a parking place, we can do that as well. You're going to apply the brake, push the Advanced Park button, and then you need to choose. Do you want to go forward, to the left or the right, or do you want to back up to the left or the right? Well, here's where you definitely want driver participation, because I know that there is a grassy area behind me and there's a parking lot in front of me. So guess what? I want to go forward, and I think I would like to turn to the left. So I'm going to select exit to the left and forward. It is going to show me an example of my selection, and then I will click start. I need to release the brake. It's going to move forward, and then it's going to pause, and it's going to tell me press the brake pedal, check the path for safety. This means I need to actively look around, make sure it's all clear, then I can release the brake and the wheel, and it will take over. Here we go. And once it's done and it needs me, it says you can exit by moving the steering wheel. What that means is I can exit the Advanced Park feature. It's already exited me from the parking spot. So it just is kind of a convoluted way of saying take over, start driving, start driving. All right, now that we know how to use Advanced Park, let's park the TX between two vehicles. So I'm going to pick this spot, and I just want to line up. Again, I like to line up the door with the spot that I've chosen, and my foot's on the brake. I'm in drive. I'm going to press the Advanced Park button. It does see the parking spot that I want, so if it was not selected, I could select it. I would like to reverse into the spot, and I will click start. Keep in mind, there are vehicles near me, there are cars on either side, there is a light post, there is a big concrete pole, so there's a lot to avoid. We're going to get a lot of warnings, and if I'm not comfortable, I can always stop by applying the brake. So I'm going to take my foot off the brake, and I'm going to let the vehicle start its maneuver. Really close. This is a tight parking area and a large vehicle. If this makes you nervous, don't do it. Okay, moving forward to a line, so it's going to center itself a little more in the spot. I don't know about you, I don't think I could have parked this TX in this parking spot on my own. At least certainly not as smoothly as the advanced parking feature. And we're done. And it did apply the brakes a little harshly because it did see that pole that is behind us. So we can release the brake if we would like to move. It can continue to realign, or we can just put our vehicle into park, and it will tell us that the shift position was changed to park, advanced park, cancel. You can also parallel park. So let's come to a spot that we would like to parallel park in. Press the button. It sees the spot. It even visualizes the vehicle in that spot. Press start and follow the directions. Release the brake. It's going to adjust. It's going to move forward. And then it will begin parallel parking for us. Okay, wow. Very cool. Done. Oh, I love this feature. There are some other settings and options available. Right now I'm in park, and when I press the remote park switch, you'll be able to see some settings on the left-hand side. The top item is if you have remote park. Remote park is a capability on some vehicles that allows you to remote park from the Lexus app. You do need to be the primary driver or signed in as the primary driver, and you will be within about 10 feet of the vehicle, so it's not something you can do at a far distance, and you can follow the steps on your phone and it'll take you through and guide you to be able to park either parallel or perpendicular, and you can choose to go forward or reverse when you select a remote park method. We'll click cancel to come back to our other view. You're not able to use the advanced park or remote park features parking into or exiting from a garage space, but you can register a parking space if the lines aren't clearly identified. You're going to select the P with the plus symbol, and you're going to tell the vehicle, is it a perpendicular spot that you're assigning, or is it a parallel spot? I'm going to choose parallel. I'm going to tell it it's on the left-hand side. There are two kind of strange parallel parking spots that are available in this parking lot, and these spots were not parking places originally. So they have a lot of different lines, and under normal circumstances, it's not as easy for the system to identify it as a parking place. So I'm going to say okay. And now I'm going to follow the directions. So is this the spot I'm aiming for? Yes, it is. You see all those lines all over the place. But notice that's a little bit at an angle, so I can actually adjust my spot a tiny bit. So I can straighten it up, and I can nudge it a little bit in either the forward direction, backward. I can also move it within the box. So line it up how you would like. You can press reset if you need to, and then click OK. We are going to save this. So now it's saying check the parking place. So I'm registering this as spot number 1. You have 3 different spots. I'm going to click start, and let's just double check and make sure it's doing what we want. I'll remove my foot from the brake. I'm going to let it do this parking maneuver. And then if this were my spot where I parked every day, my vehicle would be able to remember that. So this is, again, a very untraditional spot. Now, it could be that at home you have some parking places in an open driveway. They would not be marked. So you could set up a registered parking spot there. It's just not able to do it in an enclosed space. So now we can confirm the registration. Do we like where we are? Do we need to adjust it anymore? If not, we can click register. So we're making sure the space is free of any obstacles. We have it aligned where we want, and parking space 1 has been saved and registered. So now if I'd like to use that registered spot, I'm just going to approach the parking area and then start the advanced park feature, and I've got my spot right here, and it even knows where it is. So I can just select the spot that I've saved if I have more than one, and then I could also choose start. If you'd like to delete registered parking places, just activate Advanced Park, come to Settings. Notice that we are immediately defaulted to our Advanced Park settings, and if we scroll to the bottom of our settings menu, we can clear registered parking spaces. Just select, and we can tell it we would like to clear space 1. And just click yes to confirm. And now all 3 of the registered parking places are available again. Coming back to the Advanced Park Settings menu, you'll see that you can turn Remote Park off or leave it on. You can also adjust the speed for fast, standard, or slow. The detection range, standard or far, so how much do you want it to look around for a space. You can choose a default parking method, so perpendicular or parallel, just depending on what you are going to do most. Then you can choose your default direction for parking. Are you preferring to reverse in or go forward into a space? You can also choose if you would like to typically exit to the left or the right when you have parked perpendicular. And you can do the same if you have parallel parked, left or right, and then you'll click OK after you've made your selection. For the parking view, you can choose the normal view or the wide view. And the exit view can also be customized normal or wide. And then you have some additional adjustments that you can make based on where you typically park. So just click on the item, and for the parking path, you can make an adjustment if you want to be more inward or out. And keep in mind that midway point is the standard. So it just depends on how you typically approach a parking spot and how your parking spots are set up. And if you're not sure what something is, click on the question mark. So when the tire size has changed since a vehicle was purchased, if you are used to advanced park, you may need to make an adjustment. You can also make an adjustment based on road width, standard, slightly more narrow, or narrow. And if you have registered a parking space, you can make this change for that particular saved spot as well. You can make an adjustment for how far you want the vehicle to move forward or back into a spot. So if you'd like to be more centered in a spot, or if you'd like to pull more forward, it's completely up to you. Press OK when you're ready, and then you'll do the same thing if you're reversing into a spot. Would you like to be more forward in the space or more toward the back of the parking space? Pressing OK, and we can check the rear accessory setting. So if you have an accessory mount on the back of your vehicle, you do want to consider that if you're backing into a parking space. So you can increase up to 40 centimeters, and you'll even see the little example of that here. Just click until you have it where you want it. If you don't have an accessory mount or trailer hitch on the back of the vehicle, just minus all the way to the end until it says none, and then select OK. And our last item was to clear those registered parking places. Coming back to settings, or click the X to close. If I decide to cancel at any time, I can apply the brake and then click cancel. I can also apply the brake and just completely take over, shift into gear, and then ignore all of the information on the screen, and then it will just clear, and I can just begin my drive again. So you can always cancel the advanced park maneuver at any time. And that's it. We did it.
So thanks again for stopping by the Northside and Westside Lexus virtual classroom. We'll see you next time.